So welcome to the product journey mapping video. This is about your product or your business value chain. So this is where you're going to start seeing operational efficiency improvements. Again, it's a process map just like the people journey one. And it's great to see where in your chain, like, oh my God, this is like, we could be saving money here and time, and there's all these things wasted, or this thing that could be skipped. So when you start doing this, you can start seeing way better efficiency in your company. And this is also, when you do it from the product perspective, this is exactly what a life cycle assessment looks like. From the start, where all the materials have come from, all the way to waste disposal or reuse or somewhere else, and hopefully not to landfill or into a river or sea. Anyway, and the other point that you use it for is to keep an eye on key touch points in the value chain, and of course as a communication and strategy tool, just like in the people journey map. So without further ado, let's dive into how it's used specifically. So commercially, it's used to identify areas to improve the brand and product experience. You onboard team members, same thing, to vision operational strategy. So you're like, here's the value chain, dude, you are really important here, 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 and here. You own that. That's you. That's why we hire you. You're in charge of this, but tell me what you understand of this. And then they can describe, now that they see everything else, and go, oh man, that's what that person does in that department. And that's where even finance can come into this and say, what if we actually have made a mistake? How efficient is it to actually get a product returned and get a refund and things? And so you use mapping like this to actually identify what the experience would look like and what you want it to look like. And this is what management consultants do. So instead of paying thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, the big expensive consulting companies, you can do it yourself. But it does take a lot of time. So you might just want to engage in a management consultant and identify information gaps. Now, by the way, find innovation should be on both sides, because this is something that we'll use to identify innovation for markets that are stagnant as well. So it's really, really a cool approach. From sustainability, once you're on that chain, you can start seeing, hey, these are the areas that clearly we need to measure. Emissions are coming from these core spots. And then we can start to break down the decisions that we need to do in order to actually start addressing some of those things in the chain. So let's dive into a very simple example. So this example here is a waste-centric product journey map. And we identified just two chains. This is from one event where we spent 2 hours and went from a 20% waste diversion to landfill rate. That means 80% of the waste went to landfill and only 20% actually got recycled. So we went from 20% to 93% in less than 2 hours with less money spent. The first hour was spent making the actual map with the client, sitting down and going through with it with the decision makers. And then number two was actually spent talking to the team members, where there was the assumption that these people didn't care about waste because they were 17-year-old temp workers, but that wasn't the case. They just never talked about it. So here's an example of a product journey map, a very simple one, and this one is a waste-centric journey map for an event and for the Christchurch City Town Hall. So they, at this point, had only been achieving 20% waste diversion from landfill for the last event that they had. And in 2 hours together, we were able to bump that up to 93% waste diversion to landfill. So just so you understand that number, waste diversion to landfill, when it's 20%, that means 20% is diverted from landfill, it gets recycled or something. 80% goes to landfill. And so to go from 20 to 93% with less money spent with only 2 hours is outrageous, and this is how. So in this example, we looked at where all the rubbish was coming from, what type it was, and we already had a history. So we knew it came from merchandise and it came from food. And so we mapped out all the different important areas. Now, when we actually did this, it was too late to already figure it out from the menu design phase. If we had, we could have eliminated even more waste. So we write down or put into red boxes challenges that we have. Purple boxes, information gaps that we have. We actually don't know certain things. And we might have certain assumptions, like the accounting method is only going to give us an average waste per head, but not the actual average. So an information gap for that particular event. And we can already start putting pictures of things in place and go, hey, this is what's actually happening in this area and what's going on. So an example here that we had was at the 3 coffee bars, where the rubbish is actually turning up from, where at the time there would be napkins, sachets, stirrers generating a lot of single-use waste. At that event, we said, right now, you can swap that to just bowls with sugar and spoons. And from a health and safety perspective, that's acceptable because people aren't dipping their fingers into the sugar. They're using a spoon, and you're using like a common spoon. So they said, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So in that first hour, we identified all these different areas and sources of where waste is actually turning up, and decisions where they put waste there, and just went yes, 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 no, 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 maybe later, maybe next year, right? And that created a whole bunch of opportunities they could do right away. And then when we mapped that out, we could see all the different opportunities where during the event, MC could advocate for waste separation, separating of the bins. We have printed posters to explain what goes on. The team comes in, they get briefed, they get organized, they separate the waste, they take photos. And even describing where that waste goes to so we could figure it out and actually say, we have no idea really where cardboard is going, for example. So that's a quick example of what a product journey map would look like. You write down your most important touch points and you start asking questions. What happens here? What's the opportunity? What's the challenge? What do we not know? And then from there, just like what you did in the people journey map, you cluster them, you organize what are the most important things that you could do, what are the lowest hanging fruits, and then task list, go. So that's what a product journey map looks like, and how you can identify all the different opportunities and challenges in your chain that you can improve, both for sustainability and for commercial reasons. So do that on your own, but if not, come and join the skill drill. When you join, we have a dedicated session just for product journey mapping. And if you have any challenges or questions about it, you can send us a direct message. We're happy to help. So on that note, I'll see you in the next video.